Hey everybody, MovieFan Z here. So the movie I'm going to be reviewing for you is 2017's It. So this is a movie based on the popular Stephen King book, and this movie takes place in the summer of 1989 in the town of Derry, Maine, and basically you are introduced to Pennywise, who is a shape-shifting monster that disguises itself as a clown and feeds on the fear of children. And you are introduced to the Losers Club, which is a group of bullied kids that band together to fight off Pennywise. So, in the movie, Pennywise is played by Bill Skarsgård. You have Bill, played by Jaden Martell, who was also in the movie Knives Out. You have Richie, played by Finn Wolfhard, otherwise known as Mike in the Stranger Things series. You have Beverly, played by Sophia Lillis, who you saw earlier this year as Doric in Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. You have Ben, played by Jeremy Ray Taylor. You have Mike, played by Chosen Jacobs. You have Eddie, played by Jack Dylan Grazer, who also is Freddie Freeman in the Shazam movies. And finally, you have Stanley, played by Wyatt Oleff. So basically, Bill is kind of the main kid, and he has a recognizable thing about him. And something happens to him in the beginning of the movie that kind of sets the stage for this movie. Richie is kind of like the wise cracking, foul-mouthed member of the group. Beverly is the one girl in the group that kind of all the boys pine after. Ben is the new kid in town. He's the bigger kid, but he's also like the new kid in town. Mike is kind of like an outsider. Eddie is very he deals a lot with injuries and ailments, and Stanley doesn't really have like the one big thing is that he's Jewish, and you find out later more about that as well. But let's get into this movie. This is the first time I had seen the movie since it came out 5 years ago, and I actually saw it in theaters. This is an amazing movie. I'll tell you now, it is my number 2 favorite horror movie of all time, just behind The Thing. But there's a lot that works for this movie. I think all of the acting really works. I think the chemistry between all the different characters, I think it's a good story. You are invested the entire time, or at least I was. And I really was looking forward to seeing what happened next because, again, like I said, it had been 5 years since I'd seen this movie, so I didn't remember everything. And I think the way Pennywise works and the way each of the kids experiences different fears really is done amazing. It's creepy at times, it's definitely scary at times, and it could put you on the edge of your seat. So overall, it's not a perfect movie, but there's no real big negatives about this. So for me, this is getting a 4.5 out of 5 Z's. This and another kind of Stephen King adaptation are very neck and neck. I would put this right now slightly above The Shining, but that is my review for 2017's It. Come back next time for another review. This is Movie Fan Z signing off. Have a good night.